everyone, welcome to the Mandate, where we provide the essential guide to voting in Ghana, educate you on the steps, do's and don'ts at the polling station, with expert insights for a smooth and lawful experience. My name is Sarah Mensah, and guess who is joining me today? Togbe Afede, the 14th, Agbogbo Mefia of Asogli. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Sarah.
What role do traditional leaders play in promoting peaceful elections?
Thank you. I would say traditional rulers play three broad roles. One is educational, the other is advisory, and the third, monitoring. By education, I'm talking about educating their subjects about the important need for us to have free, fair, and transparent elections, about the role their subjects can play in promoting these objectives, and also about the reasons why we should all ensure that our elections are free, fair, and transparent. So letting them know what role they should play, letting them know the importance of free, fair, and transparent elections. Of course, and the roles they can all play, both the chiefs and the people, ensuring that we achieve the objectives of free, fair, and transparency in elections.
How can we improve voter education in Ghana?
Well, essentially, we need to get voters to understand, first of all, why we have elections and the important need for our elections, as I said earlier, to be free, to be fair, and transparent. When they know the reasons why elections must be free, fair, and transparent, then they would better accept the do's and the don'ts of elections. So it's important that we let our citizens, the electorate, know that free, fair, transparent elections are very important for the maintenance of the peace that we enjoy in our country. They should know that if everybody tries to cheat, one, there will be anarchy. And secondly, the results that will come out will not be acceptable. And once results are not acceptable, there could be violence that will threaten our peace, that will threaten our development, that will destroy all that we have achieved as a country. And our electorate should also be told in clear terms that typically those who want to cheat, people have the most to benefit when the elections are not free, fair, and transparent. And they should also be taught to understand that fairness is in the interest of all of us, okay? Many of the people who would want to cheat are people who benefit personally. They are not very interested in genuine outcomes, okay? I said before that our democracy has become an enterprise that benefits a few. Electorate must be taught to understand that the generality of Ghanaian interests, the peace that we've enjoyed, that we want, and that we want to continue to enjoy, okay? The respect that we have as a peaceful country are more important than selfish desires. We must teach the electorate to understand that in elections, there is so much more at stake than religion, than tribe, and than individuals. And our 2024 elections in particular are very important and have a lot of serious consequences for our future, okay? So it's an important need to let the electorate understand that the focus must be on our future, our development prospects. I've always said that what the people need is development. It doesn't really matter who the leader is if only he brings development. And of course, that development we cannot have if there is no peace, okay? And we need fair elections to be able to sustain the peace that we need for development. Electorate must not play into the hands of greedy politicians who have a lot of personal interests to protect, to pursue, or to defend, okay? It must be established that what we need is the welfare of all Ghanaians, which comes out of development, which cannot be possible without peace, and which peace can be destroyed, okay, if everybody tries to cheat during elections. So we must get them to understand, one, why we need peaceful elections, and two, the roles that they must play, the do's and the don'ts. And of course, they must know the issues that are at stake. And so they stick to that and avoid anything tribalistic, anything religious, okay? And avoid extreme partisanship, okay? So the electorate really need to be taught to understand, you know, the true essence of what we are going to be doing.
Okay. What are the biggest threats to credible elections today?
Well, I would say the first thing is any attempt on the part of participants. By participants, I'm talking about, you know, the Electoral Commission, the parties, the electorate, okay, and of course, agents and what have you, okay. Their failure to stick to the path of strictest honesty, to the truth, will be the biggest threat, okay. The Electoral Commission does not conduct itself fairly. If it doesn't stick to the truth, that can be a threat to credible, free and fair elections. If the people spread falsehood, particularly in today's internet age, where we have mobile phones, information spreads very quickly. If we tell lies, that could threaten our peace and therefore our survival as a country, okay? Extreme partisanship, okay, would blind us to the truth. That can also be a big threat to our elections. And so will, you know, too much tribalism. When we bring in tribal sentiments, then people are blinded to the truth. So avoiding extreme partisanship, tribalism are very important. And of course, we must not play the religious card. These are all potential threats, you know, to the elections. And coming to the various processes involved, okay, if we don't ensure a credible register, it gives reasons or cause of people to complain. If we don't ensure that the printing of ballot papers is done transparently, that can create problems for us. And of course, if we don't ensure the voting process itself is transparent, that can be a problem. And so will, if we are able to ensure that collation is done transparently, transmission is done transparently and honestly. Anything that affects people's perception of the genuineness of the outcome of the elections, okay, is a threat, you know, to our election, the acceptance of our outcomes, and also therefore the peace that we want to enjoy both before, during, and after elections.
Okay. What role do traditional leaders play in promoting peaceful elections?
Again, let me emphasize that there's an important need to focus on what matters to us as a country, okay? The important thing is not where the person who is standing for elections comes from. Neither is it a question of what religion he belongs to, what tribe he belongs to. No. The most important thing is a program, that the candidate or candidates have for our future. What the people need is development. Development that brings the sense of life, jobs, high living standards. Our situation today as a country is bad, we all know. Our economy has been in the doldrums for some time now, virtual collapse. So we need programs that will take us out of our predicament. Obviously, therefore, we need a change in direction, how the country is governed. We need to enhance and strengthen our democracy. Okay, we need to bring development to the country. We need to provide jobs. We need to enhance living standards. These are things that electorate must focus on. And this is what I would advise that they focus on in making their choices. Okay, I would also advise that we all become interested in having genuine outcomes, in ensuring that the mandate of the people is respected. Okay, again, we all must be very anxious and play our roles in ensuring that elections are free and fair. We all must be part of the policing of all the processes, and we must be part of strictest honesty. We should ensure that, you know, we're happy with the register, okay? We are happy with the printing of ballot papers. Very importantly, the process of voting, okay? On election day, we also be very interested in ensuring the process is very free, very fair, secret, but transparent. And I want to emphasize the transparency, okay? Both party agents, candidates agents, electoral officials, and those of us who will be observing from outside the inner perimeter should be very interested in process that is very transparent. Okay? Remember, transparency of the process and secrecy of the process are not mutually exclusive. We must have both. Okay? And by that transparency, I want to emphasize the important need for us to see the voter as he picked his ballot paper from the polling staff, see him as he walked to and while he is in the booth. Secret does not mean that we shouldn't see the person in the booth. If we are not seeing him in the booth, then there's no transparency. So everybody must ensure that the booths are so turned that when the voter is in the booth doing his thumb printing, we can see him. That's important in ensuring that nobody brings foreign material. Nobody pulls out anything from his shirt or from his sleeve, the sleeve of his shirt, okay?
As in see him holding the ballot paper in the booth?
Seeing him in the booth, meaning seeing him from his back. You can't see the ballot paper because his body is obscuring your view of the paper, but you must see him. Yeah. Okay. So that he cannot pull anything out of his pocket. So he cannot pull anything out of his sleeve. That ensures that nobody can introduce anything foreign, into the ballot box. That ensures that anybody who brings any material, okay, any papers, any ballot papers, pre-stamped from home, will go back home with those things in his pocket. That is very important. Very important because we hear allegations of printing of extra ballot papers. In the past, we've always heard of people printing ballot papers at home and taking to polling stations. The best way to avoid such foreign material playing any role, okay, that then the credibility of the elections is to ensure that when the person moves from the table of the polling staff and walks towards the booth, and while he's in the booth, we can see him. We can see him from his back. It ensures, again, as let me emphasize, that if the person has something in his pocket, he goes back home with it.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of The Mandate. Stay informed, stay involved, and always remember your vote shapes the future. My name is Sarah Mensah.